Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my hobby blog. I'm Christian. Today is a special episode. We have a guest here with us, Dr. Will Dodson. Hello.
Hey Christian, how you doing?
Good. This is fun because I think this is the third or fourth time we have talked to each other on this topic. So, for all these
Yeah,
different projects I've had throughout school.
right. Yeah, it's always fun to geek out, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah. So, today, we're going to talk about our top three favorite Criterion, Arrow, and Vinegar Syndrome. The way to tackle this for me was to list it as my favorite movie of the that they've released of these labels, the best special features, and then just the best packaging, like the physical actual package. So,
Okay.
do we want to talk about film collecting in general, how we got into it, or just jump right in?
Well, let's jump right in. You pick the topics, and I'll go along with you.
Okay, great. So let's start with Criterion because we're both a lot more, I guess, on equal footing in that regard. I know a whole lot more about Criterion. I own a lot more Criterion. I'm closing in on 50 now, which you have the whole Criterion, so it doesn't compare, but
I
for
do,
that.
yeah.
So why do you have it all?
It is a pathological disorder on my part. I've always been kind of a collector, and at the previous school I worked at, uh, I teach at UNC Greensboro now, but the previous school I worked at, their library had pretty much the complete Criterion collection in the library, complete Criterion collection on DVD at the time, which was, gosh, that was like 2006. So about half of what they have now. And that was my film education in many ways. And when I got to UNCG, which is a great school in many ways, but its library has uh, a lot lacking when it when it comes to its film collection. It has very little of the Criterion collection, and so I just kind of started picking up titles whenever they would go on sale here and there, and as I aged a little bit and got a little more financially secure, I picked up a little bit more and more, and one day realized I had all of it, including their horrible titles like their Michael Bay films and Kevin Smith's Chasing Amy. And I haven't gotten rid of them just because it's the complete collection. I think I'm complete up to spine number. Oh, I'll tell you, I'm complete up to spine number um, 1068, and I have all of the Eclipse series box sets as well. So
I
that's where
like
I'm
that. Yeah, because I'm still a student at UNCG, and that's how I got into movies a lot. Was I took your class and I was like, wow, movies are a lot more than Michael Bay and what you see in the theaters. And I
right.
really like the historical aspects too, and learning about filmmaking, all that. And I discovered the library, and I started going there, and they were like, I think I was looking for that C that denotes, Criterion. There were like maybe 10 that I could find. If you looked really hard, you could find more, but they
Yeah,
did not have much.
it really is disappointing. I mean, I think at the very least, a reputable university um, library that has a media studies major associated with the school should have the complete Criterion collection. That's just kind of the starting point as far as I'm concerned. But I don't make the decisions. So, but we're not here to trash the library.
Yeah.
Well,
I will say Criterion has recently discussed how I think 60% of the DVD sales or 70% are school universities. So That's why they
Hmm.
still do DVD, because I know a lot of people are like, why aren't you just doing Blu-ray? Where's the 4K? But in
Right.
reality, it's school universities buying a lot of these. So,
Yeah, and truthfully, I'm annoyed that school universities are so behind on the on the format too. But okay.
yeah. So my favorite, in terms of one of their releases, it came out right after I did my project, my screening of it in your class. That is Tampopo. That
Oh,
that was one of those I randomly took from the library. It wasn't even announced yet when I kind of just yanked it off the shelf, and I fell in love with it a lot. I also wanted to choose movies that like not everyone knows about because it'd be really easy to choose Seven Samurai or something like that, and nobody
yeah,
talks
yeah.
about Tampopo, so this is my choice for my favorite release of those.
I was surprised. I wasn't. If you asked me to guess what you're going to come up with, I wouldn't have thought Tampopo. But yeah, that's a good film and a good release. Um, there's releases where the packaging and the comprehensiveness just make them awesome. Like in the past year, they've put out the Ingmar Bergman set, the Agnes Varda set, the Fellini set, and all of those are amazing. I haven't even scratched the surface in terms of watching all those films and transfers and and extras. Um, but as far as just favorites go, you know, I think at least one of the ones that's in my like uh, top three. Is that where we're going? Top three?
I yeah, we're just doing three total, so one features,
Yeah.
packaging, and movie.
This will be kind of a boring choice, but I'll make it number three. I really love Stanley Kubrick's The Killing,
I have not seen that one.
and the transfer is great, and that's a film I could just pick up and watch, multiple days, multiple times in a row. So The Killing for me, I'd say is in my top three. It's kind of fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen most of his stuff. I just recently got the 4K of 2001, and that was like the best release I think for 4K. There's so many documentaries, and the restoration is just insane. Let's go on to our favorite special feature one.
Special features, huh?
Yeah, I chose. I don't have many movies, so I'm sure if I had more of the box sets, I would choose those. But for this one, it's Night of the Living Dead by George Romero,
Yeah, yeah.
because there are so many features on there. There's documentaries, there are long interviews, there's two or three commentaries on it. They have the original work print of the movie before they clean it up, which is really neat. Night of Anubis, I believe it's called.
Hmm.
And so that one's really great. It's sad they couldn't do more, but he died, and they had a lot of plans further on with the special features, but they couldn't do it. So that's my choice.
That's,
It's a
that's a
really sick set too.
that's a good choice. I'm going to give you three. So you might think this is cheating a little bit, but my very favorite special feature always is um, if the release includes the book that the film is an adaptation of. The Furies,
Hmm.
Red Red River, Picnic at Hanging Rock. Oh, I'm going to give you a fourth one, The Man Who Fell to Earth. All four of those Criterion releases come with the novel that they're based on, and in really nice editions, nice paperback editions, and all four of those films have. Let's see, The Furies is about to get updated to Blu-ray, and I just can't wait. Red River looks amazing. Uh, Picnic at Hanging Rock looks amazing, and The Man Who Fell to Earth is out of print already, and I only have that on the Criterion's DVD release, and I hope they're able to re-release it sometime. Yeah, those are always going to be my favorite special features. There's some great ones like Tokyo Story has the great documentary about Ozu by Wim Wenders, and I like that a lot. But I just love being able to read the books.
Yeah, Vampire has that too. They have the whole screenplay
Oh
with
yeah,
essays.
yeah,
Because I have that, and I really like that.
yeah. I'd forgotten that one. That's fantastic too.
Well, I'm gonna give two other ones because I actually have a good number of Criterions. I would also say the Parasite release is really good. I just went through that by
Hmm.
Bong Joon-ho. That has a really long interview in it where they don't even interview. They just say words, and Bong Joon-ho just goes off and does whatever. And you really learn about his like process and views that way, which is interesting.
Huh.
I'm trying to see what else. I guess the Bruce Lee set. I really like that set. There's a lot of
Oh
documentaries on it.
yeah, I
Everything
haven't
looks
even
great.
I haven't even begun looking at that, but I can't. I really am looking forward to it.
My favorite part of it is that they do the unedited final film of his without like making it awful by putting his like funeral footage in, which I don't like at all. And
Oh,
instead, it's just like a 20-minute movie with just the footage they made, and they remastered that. And then they had like title cards that explained what the movie was going to be about, what what this scene was supposed to be between, and all that. So it's really great.
yeah, that's cool.
So for the last top three is the packaging of Criterion, just the physical holding it, the looks, the
Okay,
artwork, all of that. And my favorite one, I don't watch it often. I did a huge watch through of all the movies, but Zatoichi, the 25 film box set. It looks
for sure.
so awesome. It's the perfect size and width and height. I I love the Godzilla set, but I hate the actual shape of it. It's
It is.
like it's
It's
like a
unwieldy. Yeah,
trifold. It's like a
yeah, it's too
trifold
big.
poster. It's way too big. It doesn't fit anyway. I wish it was more like the Ingmar Bergman set, like that kind of
Hmm.
chunkiness I like. And the Zatoichi set is great. The special features is lacking, in my opinion. They have like one interview from like the 80s with the main star, and like that's it.
Yeah.
But the actual release of it, I always just like holding it, just looking at it, pulling it out. They put 3 movies a disc. And they have like special artwork for each disc on the page because it's like a book. You open it and it's just like 8 discs, I think.
Hmm.
So that's my favorite one. Well, let's go back and forth on
Okay,
one,
that's
one,
good one.
one, two.
I would have said that too, but I'll let you have it, and I'll go to another one. I tend not to like it when they put individual films in the cardboard um, sleeves because they're so easy to damage.
Yeah,
So
Godzilla does that too.
right, so I'm not going to say those. Um, I'll say for my first one, I like the way the Ingmar Bergman set is curated. I like the way that they're arranged around like themes so that you can do little double and triple features um, as opposed to just chronological. Um, some people don't like the way the DVD the discs are in little slip covers because you have to be extra careful not to damage them. But I don't mind that. Those are pretty secure as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I like the curation of that one.
Yeah, I love the idea of like movie nights, and because they said they approached it like a festival. So,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I'm totally for that. I don't have it yet. One day I'll have it. But I guess my second favorite, just physical thing, is the Lone Wolf and Cub box set.
Yeah.
Because it's like the best artwork, in my opinion. It comes with a secret poster. You pop out the spine. There's a poster in there. Did you know that?
I did not.
There's a secret poster in there.
Good to know.
If you pop out the spine on the other side from where you take it out, there's a poster in there.
Whoa. I'll take a look at that today.
And they actually do the actual plastic insets, which I like. So,
Uh-huh.
because they do one movie, I think, per disc or something, maybe two.
Yeah.
So, that one's my second favorite. So,
That's good. Well, the next one I'll share is I really like the Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project sets. They are in cardboard boxes, so you have to be careful to display them, but they fit really nicely on top of shelves, on top of like on top of a bookshelf, the top shelf of it, and they fold out real nicely. They've got great images. The color is very attractive, so it's nice to display. That's a great one. All three of them look good.
yeah, I really want to get those, but they're never available. Every sale I've tried to get them, and they're out of stock. So, one day I'll be able to get it. And then my final one, I'm just looking at my shelf. I guess The New World, because I did not know anything about that movie when I bought it. And the artwork is an actual painting that they made for this release, and it looks really beautiful. And if you look at the original poster and box art before Criterion did it, it looks awful. It looks like, 2000s movie, but in this one, it's like serious, historical film.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, artwork goes a long way for me in buying movies. So.
Okay, cool. Well, then for my last one, well, first I'm going to give an honorable mention to the Olympics box set that they did, where they had restorations of highlights of the Olympics from the last century, including Leni Riefenstahl's Olympiad film. The box set is really strong and austere looking, it's a really nice box, looks good. But I'm going to choose the complete Eclipse set, and I'll tell you why. Each one of the Eclipse series releases has 3 or 4, sometimes 5 slim case DVDs with a slipcover or sheath. It's like that holds them together, and they look really nice on a bookshelf. You can stack them up or line them up next to each other, and they look attractive. My wife doesn't mind that they're on display in our living room, which is nice. And I like the Eclipse sets. The transfers are usually not remastered or anything like that, but they're films that I don't think any labels have to make their investment back, and I don't think that a lot of the films would merit a release on their own. So by packaging them together, Criterion's able to make them, I guess, commercially viable, and I just love them. I think there's 46 of them. I have them all. I've watched at least one film from almost all of them, and just love it. They haven't released an Eclipse set in over a year, and I don't know if they're planning on doing any more, but I hope so.
I saw someone color-coded, like in order, all the Eclipse rather than by release. And it was really fun to see it merge into different colors and go from one color to the next.
Oh, that's cool.
So I only have 2 of them, both Kurosawa, post-war and early films.
Oh man, No Regrets for Our Youth is such a great film.
I've watched the first 2 in the early films. I need to get that book that you keep recommending so I can know what the heck is going on. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the Arrow ones now. This one's a little easier for me to, I guess, justify. in terms of my favorite movies. So my top Arrow movie that they've released is Re-Animator. That is no one's surprised that I chose that because it's amazing and I love it.
No question.
I've seen it at least a dozen times in the 2 years I've known about it.
Yeah, that's a great package. I really appreciate the way they do their box sets because they're really sturdy. Packaging. Oh wait, we're not doing the packaging first. We're doing the
movies.
Jeez.
They've done a lot of good ones. That's the issue. And thankfully, I don't have many, so it was easy for me to choose.
Yeah, that's a. I don't have all of them, but I've got a lot. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna say all of their Dario Argento releases because the transfers are so great. And let's see, Cat o' Nine Tails, Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Deep Red. All of those are the definitive releases. They just look beautiful.
Yeah, I'm happy that Arrow does such a good job with the releases because when I bought all three of those movies, I knew I never had to buy them again.
Right.
So
I'm going to say one more that's my favorite film that they've released. The Happiness of the Katakuri by Takashi Miike.
Yeah, that's top of my list right now to get.
Yeah.
I love Takashi Miike. And I've only seen like 10 out of his 100 or so.
Yeah.
So my next favorite movie of theirs is basically the same kind of deal with Re-Animator. It is Society by forgot his name, Brian Usna.
That movie is the best.
Everyone told me don't look up anything about it before watching it, and I did exactly that, and it was amazing. Also, shout out on the special features for it because there's some really interesting documentaries on there, especially about Screaming Mad George.
Yeah, people need to go out and get that. And really, Brian Usna needs to be evaluated as a filmmaker at the same level that Stuart Gordon is, because he's great in his own right and has so many classic films to his resume.
I really like Return of the Living Dead 3. One day I'll own it, but that one I
love. One of my favorite films of all time. Yeah.
The next favorite movie by Arrow, this is the last one I'll have to choose, is I'm a cheat, Tremors. I mean, that one, I grew up with that movie. We watched it all the time. We got it from Blockbuster. And they put out a 4K release. I actually haven't even watched the 4K rip of it. I've gone through all the special features where they use the 4K footage, and it looks insane. Because it always had that, like, goofy, campy look, like from a VHS. But this release makes it look way better. So it's great. It's the first 4K I think they did.
Yeah, nice.
So.
Well, Django. Well, that hasn't come out yet, right?
Not yet, no.
I'll talk about Django.
So this next one is the best special features, and you'll be surprised by this one.
Okay.
But the first one goes to the limited edition of Last House on the Left by Wes Craven.
That was gonna be one of mine. Yeah.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah.
Man, I'm stealing all your choices. So I actually don't like this movie all that much overall. It's great to watch once or twice, but it's really rough to watch. But there's an essay, like a whole booklet, talking about like how this kind of mocked the period between campy horror movies into like Texas Chainsaw and movies like that, with like the really gritty humans are the monsters. It comes with the giant poster, all of that. I think it even comes with the soundtrack. I don't know. I don't ever look at this really, so that's my choice for the best one.
Well, I'm going to keep it with Craven, and I'm going to say the limited editions of both The Hills Have Eyes, a great film, and The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, a not so great film. Both are in large box sets with tons of documentaries, interviews. It's the same basic format as Last House on the Left, and despite the fact that Hills Have Eyes 2 is not a great movie, I think it's really interesting in context of Craven's career. So I always look at it as being kind of a important step for him. And for reasons that we can get into in another episode, if we want to do an analysis of bad Wes Craven movies or something. but in terms of the topic for today, the packaging, the special features, everything about these releases and the restorations are just definitive. I highly recommend them to people.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about Hills Have Eyes 1 because I saw that in high school and I was like, this is weird. And I never looked at it again. But now that I actually have some film knowledge, I need to revisit it.
And I'll give one more. No, I'm going to give two more. The first one is a regional slasher movie called The Mutilator.
Yeah, that one's good.
Which has some really, really interesting interviews and documentary stuff. I really enjoy that film a lot as a kind of crappy slasher with some cool kills. I want to say it was shot in North Carolina somewhere. Am I wrong about that? Maybe it was in Virginia.
I think it was North Carolina because it was cheap to film there. That's what I remember.
Yeah. And then my last one for special features is, of course, Bloodbath, because the release includes 4 different cuts, including one by Stephanie Rothman and one by Jack Hill, both working for Roger Corman, who acquired the original cut, which is a Greek film, just like kind of a spy movie, and then shot some additional footage and recut it. So it goes from a spy movie to, by the 4th version, it's a vampire movie.
Oh, wow.
and so you can over the course of a couple days, you can watch all 4 versions and really see how a film can change over over a bit of re-editing and reshoots. Francis Ford Coppola worked on a version of it. Yeah, it's really cool. So there are 5 different versions of the film. I think, yeah, and the release has 4 of them because the 5th doesn't have very much, I don't think, changes. But yeah, definitive release for any film nerd who's interested in how exploitation movies work.
It's a fun genre and also can be awful.
Absolutely.
But so I'm gonna jump into the best presentation because we're at 7 minutes away. So
okay,
I'm gonna be fast in mine.
Okay, I'll be fast in mine too. I've got 3 ready to go.
So my favorite actual packaging that Arrow has done is the Ring trilogy collection.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Because I really love on the spine where you can on the plastic. The first picture is her coming out of the well, then the second one's her closer. On the final box, it's her coming out of the spine and like flowing into like the title and stuff. And I think that's really cool. And it's really crisp white to show like the static, I guess. And it's really like holding it is just so steady and great. So that's my choice.
That's a good one. My first choice is going to be the Herschel Gordon Lewis box set. It's got nearly all of his films, all the ones that matter. Great transfers, great interviews, Herschel Gordon Lewis commentaries, a lot of fun. And it's a big box with a cartoon drawing of Herschel Gordon Lewis eating body parts out of a stew, and it's the all-you-can-eat box set. So it's it's the Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast box. Fantastic.
I almost bought that in high school before I even knew what Arrow Video was, because I loved that one movie that he did that everyone loves that I can't remember the name to. What I forgot what it's called, but Blood Feast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other Arrow choices?
For packaging, yes. My second one will be the Hellraiser Scarlet Box.
Ooh, yeah.
It is gorgeous. It collects the first 3 Hellraisers. And those are the only 3 that you need. The extras are amazing. There's like a 3-hour documentary about the making of the trilogy. The box is gorgeous, black box with red hues, and of course the pinhead headshot. All 3 transfers are great. Hellraiser 3, by the way, was filmed in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Ooh.
You can see unchanged street signs. You can see where they're shooting on East Market Street and shooting downtown. You can recognize some buildings. And it's perhaps ironic to note that the subtitle of Hellraiser 3 is Hell on Earth. They chose Greensboro to represent Hell on Earth.
As someone who works in Greensboro, that kind of hurts.
Well, now you got to remember that Hellraiser 3 was filmed in 1992, and I can verify that downtown Greensboro in 1992 was absolutely hell on earth.
Was it? I wasn't even alive, so.
It's improved quite a bit. Then my last one is one that came out for like 2 seconds last year and then got delayed due to some rights disputes with Blue Underground, and that is Django. Mm-hmm. There's a box set and a steelbook, and it came out briefly and then was suppressed, and I managed to get copies of both of those sets. They are beautiful. The artwork is fantastic. The special features are fantastic. The transfer is fantastic. It is now being released, I guess, here in a couple months officially, but I managed to sell the box set on eBay for quite a bit of markup while it was out. So I feel pretty smart with that little investment, and I kept the steelbook. And it looks, as I say, the packaging is just fantastic. It looks great all the way around.
Yeah, we knew it was getting re-released.
Yeah.
Arrow
so those are my
Yeah. Arrow has a lot of great releases, and one day I'll own more. We have 2 minutes, so I'm gonna speed through this. So
well, let's do Vinegar Syndrome next time. Let's do a whole.
We could do a whole Vinegar Syndrome.
Let's do a whole pod on Vinegar Syndrome, because I can talk about them forever. Let me give some honorable mentions.
Okay.
The Edgar Allan Poe Black Cat box set with Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key and The Black Cat by Lucio Fulci. What a great set. The Kenji Fukasaku Battle Without Honor and Humanity Complete Collection Limited Edition. Oh my God.
I want it.
Out of print, you'll have to drop about $1,000 to get it.
That's not happening. I love Battle Royale, but not that
much. The Stray Cat Rock collection of Pinky Violence films, just amazing. Arrow has so many good things. The Outlaw Gangster VIP collection, the Emilio Miraglia, Luciano Ercole, Two Gothic Chillers set, and Death Walks at Midnight set. Those are all great. I mean, we could go all day on Arrow. They really do film fans a service with their packaging.
I really like. This is gonna be my honorable mention is Basket Case, because if you look on the back, it's like the longest paragraph ever of special features. So looks like it's really amazing. I just spent a whole day one day just going through them all.
Yeah, that's a great choice. A dishonorable mention. I am really mad that their release of Driller Killer did not include the short films of Abel Ferrara, unlike the limited edition Cult Epics DVD release. The DVD release had a whole disc of short films, and I don't know if it was a rights issue or they just decided not to, but I was kind of bummed because when I bought the Steelbook off of you, or we did a trade, I can't remember.
Yeah, we did a trade.
And then I checked it out, and it didn't have the special features, so I had to keep my old DVD release, and it's just taking up space. So get on that, Arrow. Re-release it with the collection of short films.
Yeah, I didn't like that release and that movie in general, so I was happy to get rid of it. Although it looks great on the shelf with the guy's head getting drilled in. So.
Well, I'm a big fan of Abel Ferrara, so I'll forgive you. I can definitely understand why somebody would not like Abel Ferrara.
I haven't seen his other movies, so maybe they are better. So.
If you don't like Driller Killer, you probably won't like anything. But actually, see if you like Bad Lieutenant. That's the way to get started with Abel Ferrara.
I will. So it is 12:46 now, so I guess we're gonna have to end this. We could go on all day, every day for the rest of our lives, maybe.
Well, this was good practice. I think next time I'll be better. I'll be more prepared. And maybe we should do a trilogy, like a Just Criterion talk, a Just Arrow talk, and a Just Vinegar Syndrome talk. I can do Severin too if you want.
We can do a lot. We could also do Scream Factory, which I wanted to do, but I have too many of the releases.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm going to do that. So I couldn't figure it out. So we can discuss what episodes. I'm thinking a best of each label will keep us going for a few months.
That sounds good, man.
So thank you for joining. This is our first discussion, so we'll see how it gets received. All my film collecting stuff has been high viewed, so I'm sure this will do just as well, if not better.
Yeah. Well, I'll be more entertaining in the next one, I'm sure.
We'll be a lot more ready because this is first time for everything. Is always rough. So, thank you for joining and thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for having me.